Rebellions are built on hope.
Welcome to another Star Wars Saturday and another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I am your host, Alberto Calderon, and as always, joined through this Book of Boba Fett journey with our friend, our co-host for our book reports, Oti. How you doing, Oti?
I'm doing good. This was actually way cooler than I thought.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Let me take this down now. Just trying a few new things. I don't know, maybe I could just do a little fade to fade out the music, but
Yeah, that was
yeah, trying new things out there. As we're coming to not just the end of the first season of Book of Boba Fett. I'm close to ending our fourth season here in Radio Rebellion. I think today's our 92nd episode. I think last week I said it was our 90th. I think today's our 92nd. Once I hit 100, which is not too far away, I'll take a little break as always, about a 2-week break, and then come back for our fifth season. And a bunch of cool episodes still to go this year, so can't wait to get to it. Yep. But today, it's all about Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, and yeah, we'll get into it. But before, there he is. Yeah, I know. We'll discuss that little guy.
He'll pop up once in a while. Yeah,
maybe. I don't forget. We're also gonna talk about this guy. It's his show. Yeah. Some people out there have a lot of thoughts about where was Boba Fett. These completely say that they don't know what they're doing with the show, or no, it fits completely. So we'll spend some time talking about it. But before we start, Oti, how are you doing? General thoughts?
Oh, I'm doing good.
No, just not about Mando, just our Book of Boba. Whatever, just.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Spent the morning playing golf. Then I came back and just played video games until I went like, okay, it's 5:30 over here, 4:30 for you guys. So yeah, came down. Here we are.
Yeah, we were talking before a little bit. I'm jealous you were out there playing golf. That's a nice weather. I'm complaining a little bit about the weather here in Florida, but to all our friends out there in the north and northeast and others, a big storm heading their way over there already. So hopefully everyone's keeping safe. Well, you can see I'm bundled up today in my Her Universe Anakin Skywalker.
That's a cool jacket. Cool jacket.
One of the few things that I like that they call this year that I can finally wear this. I got it, I think, around August of last year. And then as soon as it got a little bit chilly, I'm pulling it out. I'm going to use it as most as I can. But it's cold out here in Florida, low 40s. It's going to get to the 20s tonight. So, yeah. But not as hot as Puerto Rico, and not as hot as that shirt of the Fallen Star. No! Quick spoilers. It's not a spoiler because it's on the cover.
It's the cover of the book.
It's the cover. Starlight Beacon went down in flames like certain planet we might mention today. But
quick mention. I was actually wearing my Marky and Rose shirt, but I decided to put it away because I'm going to wear it for our special guests on next week and the other. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so next week, we'll just mention, today is just the two of us. Most of these Book of Boba Fett episodes, we've had special guests come in, but tonight will just be the two of us. But next week, we have Oisu Amin coming in, and then for the finale, we have Maggie Lovett, both huge fans of not just Boba Fett, High Republic, and Marky and Rose. So, yeah, it's good to have that ready when they're here. But like always, thank you guys for joining us today or watching this later when you guys have a chance, or listening to it on the audio podcast when it comes out. If you're watching this now, make sure that you like this video, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss special episodes that are coming. We're gonna have our second, look who's there, our friend Lauren Romo saying Florida cold, me from the Midwest. Yes, he's up there in Michigan, I believe. So that's why I gotta be careful. I keep saying it's so cold in Florida.
I mean, they should check out Puerto Rico cold, like 60 degrees.
Yeah, 68 by middays back in the 80s. But
perfect.
I think I said it before. When I was there, if it was 78, I was pulling on my hoodie, my beanie.
Oh, no.
70. Good to go.
If it's in the 70s, it's, jeans, hoodie. Yeah.
Yeah, but subscribe to the show. Roberto is here. Hi, Roberto. How you doing? comment if you're watching this later what you thought about this episode, that series in general. But I think that's good. Two of our friends are here, so we're ready to start. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's talk Star Wars. And as always, I start with a little Star Wars news. Star Wars news. So Oti, any Star Wars news out there this week that we might want to spend a few minutes on?
Yeah, so we have the EA announcement for new video games.
Yeah.
We know from reports of a couple of months ago that Ubisoft is working on a new video game. So it's branching out to other studios, but EA is still working on things. So they said they're working on the sequel to Fallen Order. I'm not 100% sure it's a sequel, but
yeah, that's what I heard out there. I haven't played, unfortunately. My gaming days are behind me for right now. I've seen all the cutscenes, so I know the story.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people are saying it's not a sequel to it, but it's kind of in the same family. It's Jedi or Star Wars, Jedi, whatever. It's not gonna be Fallen Order, something else.
Yeah,
Lawrence all for Fallen Order too.
Yeah, so I'm not. The thing is, they keep saying like it's in the vein of Fallen Order, but they haven't flat out said it's a sequel. So maybe it's like Jedi: The High Republic. I don't know.
Oh, come on! Then I do have to go buy something.
Oh, that'd be. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll take a week off from work.
Oh yes.
So apart from that, they're working on a strategy game. That's gonna be interesting because it's from the people. There's a very popular strategy game that I'm blanking on that the creators of that game made a small studio and they're working on that. And they're also working on a first-person shooter. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that first-person shooter has to be, I'm guessing, has to be not about the Mandalorian or Boba Fett, but I think the main character might be around that same
Bounty
vein.
Hunter thing?
Yeah, Bounty Hunter.
It'd be very interesting. So your gaming days are behind you, but EA also made Titanfall 2 specifically, which the campaign story, single player story, it was very good. So if they integrate like those mechanics into Star Wars, I'm very interested.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Maybe one of these days I'll show up and get something and start again. So, all right. So yeah. Not much else Star Wars news, no real rumors out there, no more casting news for right now. So let's get on it. It's time for our Boba. And I'm gonna start. Had a little joke about, hey, how did you enjoy the first episode of Mando season 3? Well, that's everyone's saying that. There you go. There's Mando. Go ahead. Throw me under the bus. Say everything you want.
So Alberto and I had like an unofficial bet, like who was gonna show up in this week's episode. Alberto thought it was gonna be Cobb Vanth. I was 100% certain it was gonna be Din Djarin, and turns out I was right.
Yeah, I've been on this Cobb Vanth kick since the season started. I've been saying it makes sense. He's gonna come back. He's the Marshal of Mospelgo. There's Underworld. There's Gangster. He's gonna come in. He needs muscle. He knows it. He knows the Tusken. He's gonna help. He wasn't there. Mando was there 30 seconds into the episode, basically. So we didn't have to wait long, but great episode. I know there's some things to talk about, but I know you wake up early and watch it. First thoughts when you first saw it.
So actually, this week I woke up a bit earlier. I just randomly woke up, so I was awake when I watched the episode. I wasn't like, so I was so happy. I was so happy, like watching it through and through. I wanted to know your thoughts because let me show it right here. Roberto comments like he wonders if they needed to spend so much time on Mando, which we'll definitely talk about. But I was watching and I was like, I'm loving this, but I feel the backlash coming. Like I had this moment when I checked the time. It was 20 minutes and we were still with the covert, and I was like, okay, so they're doing this. And then, 40 minutes in, and he's with Pelly. Boba hasn't showed up. Fennec Shan hasn't showed up. And I was like, okay, this is where they're going. And, I have my thoughts on it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite episode in the season, and it's not because Boba Fett's not on it. Like, it's not because of that,
Yes, yeah.
but I really, really liked it.
So when I was gathering my thoughts and notes for this episode, if you've been watching this or listening to us, we usually go in order as the episode progresses. Today, I think we're just gonna jump in and just talk about in general whatever comes up, and we can start right there. So my thoughts. Everyone was freaking out on Twitter and on social media. You told me get out, run. I did my best and I stayed away. It was a very no one from work watches this, I think. It was a very boring day at work. So I was, let me just go on social media. So I had to stay away. So it was a very long day till I got home at 6 o'clock. But I watched it, and I'll say now, because I said it before, I'm done with Grogu. Don't bring him back. I'm okay taking a break from Mando. I don't want this show to go on for 4 or 5 seasons. End it quick. Not quick, but soon enough. 2 minutes into the show, I was, okay, I miss Mando. I miss the feel of the show, the atmosphere. And when he mentioned Grogu, I even went, oh, crap, I missed that guy. So everything that I've been saying, I'll take it back. I love Boba Fett, but there is something about the feel of the Mandalorian universe, that section of it, that just hits different. Again, we've been with them for 2 seasons, so we have more familiarity. But for someone that loves Boba Fett as much as I do, it felt different being back in the Mando world. I know we talked before that sometimes Boba, it looks like they spend all the budget on one episode on a certain thing and then it falls down. All the money went to this episode because the production value of the hook.
This
But let's
episode
just,
has some shots that, oh my God.
Yeah, and that's, I said, I'm not going to go in order unless we want to. I had like 40 shots I was going to show. It's just too much. So I just did little videos. So we get our little cutscenes. It starts with Mando here. I love the Clatoonians working the butcher shop. This guy that he's gonna go has this bounty on the Darksaber, and he freaking slashes a guy in half. 2. He cut the first guy, stabbed a second one, and the third one he just cut in half and chopped his head off. Oh, this is Disney. It's a kids show. Star Wars is for kids. And not today.
Yeah, we saw live action amputations.
Yes, but it worked. Because my thing was, Din Djarin doesn't fit in what Boba Fett is trying to do and get all this muscle. He has the Darksaber and Bo-Katan to deal with. They showed us right here where he's at. And okay, now he fits with what's going on. He's back to bounty hunting. Is it what he really needs? We'll get into that. But right now it does fit. But to Roberto's point about spending a lot of time on Boba Fett, on Mando, not on Boba Fett, I get it. I understand 100% because this is the book of Boba Fett. But it all depends how the season ends, right? They have to make this connect, not just with Fennec Shand for 2 minutes. I think it will, but it helped introduce where Mando is, because if he just shows up, okay, I'm done, let's go get these guys, it feels kind of doesn't make sense. Did it need to be 50 minutes of Mando? Maybe not. But I did enjoy it completely.
Yeah, so, okay, let me get my
And I want to hear your thoughts. And then I have one thing that I thought about yesterday, how they could, with 2 extra minutes, this conversation would be over. But go ahead.
Okay. So, number 1, I love the butcher shop. Because I mentioned it a couple of episodes ago. I'm a huge Sopranos fan. Yeah. And they have this place called Satriali's where it's a butcher shop, but in the back of the shop, they have their cartel thing going on. Yeah. So like seeing that, I was like, ooh, gangsters. Yeah. So, okay. So that's that. Seeing Mando, it's interesting because when Roberto was in the podcast, we talked about how we don't feel so attached to Mandalorian because I really love the show, but I haven't gone back to watch it. I really haven't. And I don't know why, but I had the same feeling as you when he popped up. I was like, yeah, yes, it's him. And seeing the story on, because I think like Din's most interesting part of his story is yet to come. Everything with the Darksaber, the Mandalorian. So seeing like where he's at was great. But for me, I didn't mind how much time we spent with him because, you know, if you're on Twitter, you're in on Star Wars conversations, everyone's comparing this to an interlude, and I thoroughly agree with it.
Yeah.
It
The
wasn't
second.
just what?
No, sorry.
Oh, so we're not just seeing Din for the sakes of seeing Din Djarin. We're seeing another Mandalorian who went through a traumatic experience like Boba Fett. He lost his kid, lost his ship, got fired from the Mandalorian covert, and in a different way than Boba Fett's looking to reinvent himself. Din Djarin just went back to his old ways,
Yeah.
and that dichotomy really worked for me because we're seeing similar stories, but characters handling it differently. So I think this chapter came in to validate Boba Fett's story from chapter 1 to 4. So
yeah, and then we'll get more into detail when he went back to what he knew, which is being a bounty hunter, and then helping this cover out. Lauren added, "Yeah, I see this episode also as an interlude, like some have suggested." But then the armorer basically said, "All right, thanks. You're no longer a Mandalorian. You took your helmet out. Get the hell out." So I started seeing this again. We'll get more into it when he then, because he's been now stripped of everything, right? He lost his ship, he lost Grogu, and now he lost the Mandalorians. So he's down.
Yeah.
So now he has to reinvent himself, similar to Boba Fett. And that scene, and I posted on Twitter when the N1 starfighter, spoilers, when he gets it, it's finished, and he's just going around it, putting his hand, and the music, the Mando thing comes in a different key, very low, very freaking emotional.
Yeah.
To me, that seemed him saying, "Okay, I can start rebuilding. Now I have something that's mine. No one can take this away from me. I lost my son. I lost my culture. This is mine. I'm going to start rebuilding myself." So now I see this parallel with Boba Fett. And even I was thinking today with the sequel trilogy that so many people are saying, "Oh, Filoniverse, they're scratching the sequel trilogy." Boba Fett, all his life, was told that he was a badass bounty hunter, and now no, this is the real me. I got to do these things my way. Mando, same thing. First time, season 1, he was called by 20,000 people. "Oh, you're a Mandalorian. You're supposed to be doing this, doing that. You're not a bounty hunter." So now he changed that. Season 2 is what type of Mandalorian you are. And now season 3, apparently, you're not a Mando. You got to find yourself again. Again, people telling him who he is, and he has to come, "No, this is who I am," same as Rey. People keep telling me who I am. They don't know. I'm the only one. And then she finds her own family.
Yeah.
But what I thought, because love the episode, the 15-minute length was great. I do think the building of the N1 starfighter was a little bit long. It was about 7 minutes, the whole scene. When I watched it the second time, I didn't have an issue. But if they cut 2 minutes from that scene, everything else stays the same. We didn't need the Jawas bringing the pole that they use in episode 4 because we already saw it in Mandalorian season 1 or season 2. We saw it.
We do?
Yeah, when
I
I think it's in season 1, episode 3, I think, when he goes back to pick Grogu, when he takes it to Dr. Pershing, and there's the little thing that comes out. One of the junk that's outside on those hallways, there's one of those poles just laying to the side. So yeah, it's a Easter egg. We didn't need it, I think. Take that part out. Episode runs the same way. Hey, we need help. We need muscle. Oh, that's for Boba Fett. It's on the house where I gotta go see a little friend. It can turn to black, come back in 2 seconds, like almost like a post-credit, but not really. With Fennec Shan walking out of the shop, cameras following her, it kind of pans, and there's freaking Boba Fett on top of the Rancor. What did he say? He's coming or not? Cuts. And then it ends. Boba Fett's there. He's on the Rancor that has been set up. No one's talking about, "Oh, what was Boba Fett?" It doesn't fit. If you saw a little shot of him just on top of the Rancor, it would be a little bit cool.
That would have been very cool. And we then get a second after credit scene where she goes like, he's gonna pick up the baby, and he's like, "Wait, I want to go."
Yeah, you didn't tell me. What else? What are people saying in the comments?
It got like we got a couple of comments. So
let's go.
Roberto, yeah, he agrees. They have to deliver on the ending. I totally agree. And I just want to mention, like, I'm fine with this interlude. Again, I love this episode, but if next episode is Din Djarin going to see Grogu, I'm gonna be like, what are you guys doing? This is a very long interlude.
I think it's like the prelude in Throne, Ascendancy, Lesser Evil. That's like 40 minutes prologue. I'm like, dude, just get on with chapter 1.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I have so many things
You're
to say about.
traumatized by that book.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't do a review of it. It's not a bad book. It's not my favorite, but I didn't review it here.
It's really not for me.
I
have it there. I haven't read the second one and the third one. I just read Chaos Rising, and
so I like. It's gonna be funny now. It fits to this thing because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, this is the best episode of Book of Boba Fett because it didn't feature Boba Fett." Of that trilogy of Thrawn, my favorite one is the second one because the less Thrawn that we get. He's there, but there's other people. The third one, 90% Thrawn. I'm like, again, it's not Thrawn. I think it's the way that Timothy Zahn writes, but whatever. Yeah. Right. What's Lauren saying? I believe they said this. Sorry, Mando spin-offs will be connected, and they're doing that, which I love. And I'll add, Lauren said something a little bit earlier today on Twitter about the Klatooinians that Mando chopped off. Do they have something to do with the Klatooinian head leader on Tatooine? Because one of the head bosses is a Klatooinian, and then when Boba Fett comes with Mando, and now he turns and helps the Pikes. That's something that could come into play. So, Lauren, you're in the show, even if you didn't know.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. But yeah, to Lauren's point, Kathleen Kennedy actually said it in the thing a couple of years ago. Like, it was all gonna lead to this epic finale. Yeah. Roberto. Oh, he also missed Mando. Yeah, Roberto and I have the same opinions on Mandalorian. Yeah, same opinions. And
yeah, I rewatched it earlier a few months ago because my father-in-law was here and he hadn't watched season 2 and he was just binging it, so I kind of watched most of it. Hi, Mr. Rez. Hi, Tony. So that you're here. But going back to your point about the next episode, I think it's gonna start, or we're gonna have about 10 minutes, or I wish it's just 10 minutes of Din going to visit Grogu and take whatever Beskar gift he made. Thank you, Lauren. I think we're still gonna go with that. Really? We're not gonna wait till. Yeah, I don't think we're waiting till 2023 Mando season 3 to see them. I think it's gonna happen next week. People are freaking out. People think that next week Luke Skywalker is gonna train Din how to use the Darksaber. Which, if that's it, then I'm like, no, please, no. But I think we're gonna get a quick 10 minutes of the reunion between Grogu and Mando, because I still think Grogu doesn't show up in season 3, so they're doing this as, hey, here's Grogu, and see you next time.
Talking about check out Grogu, like,
so he's down there. He's down there somewhere.
So I have a feeling that the whole Grogu thing was just not to have Din Djarin on next episode.
Okay.
So the way I see it, I think he's gonna be absent in the next episode. This episode was just to catch up with him, and maybe his role in the finale was just minor. And if they just showed him in the finale for a minor role, people will be like, "Oh, they disrespected Din Djarin. He deserved the whole episode."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see the Grogu thing, but if we do, I'm gonna be very happy.
So let's go a little bit into the show. So first scene, Mando's back. He's back to bounty hunting, and he chops off this Klatooinian guy's head, and then goes to find someone else to get information.
He's disrespecting the Darksaber, man. Like,
right?
It's the ultimate symbol of Mandalore, and he's just like chopping heads,
dragging it on the floor, cutting poor carcasses, and I'll say, which is great, because that's one of the things in 20 years of Star Wars that we've always thought about. What if a Jedi kind of accidentally hits themselves? Everyone that cosplays hits themselves with the lightsabers, and now we see what happens. I'm glad he didn't cut his leg off, but kind of burn himself a little bit. I love, and I always say this, I love aliens working blue-collar jobs, day-to-day jobs, seeing the guys with the butcher kind of white coats. I just love it because it's just something so weird, but it just looks natural.
It's weird because it's like very real world, but it's
Yeah.
just aliens doing it.
In Rebels, I think it was it Rebels? Or it might have been Clone Wars Season 7, actually, with the Martez. They had a Trandoshan dock worker with yellow overalls and all that. And I love that stuff. It just
I
looks so
mean,
weird.
but even the Mon Calamari dude with the freaking
Yeah,
sweater.
that's what I love that on Star Wars. Because, yeah, they don't need all these intergalactic clothes. It's just a little jumper.
By the way, Lauren agrees with me with the finale thing.
Okay, Lauren, I
And
take everything I said back.
Roberto, I have your
So
question, but I'll leave it for later.
you got okay, we'll wait for that. You're monitoring the chat. I'll let you deal with that. So aliens, before we keep going, because he takes this severed head to a bunch of aliens. And one thing I think was Roberto that mentioned in our first episode, how many aliens they've shown in Book of Boba Fett. And there's a lot more aliens kind of prominent here, I think, than in Mandalorian. And I love all that we see. We saw those Clatoonian, we saw this weird guy in the elevator, the Rhodian kid, and then this batch with the
So
parrot
weird.
face, the Quarren. I forgot the name of the parrot face. I looked it up on yesterday. Oh man,
I have
and there's
no idea.
someone's gonna tell us probably on the chat. And anyway, they're prominent in the Alphabet Squadron trilogy. There's one that's not part of the main squadron, but it's a friend of one of them. So that name of that alien species comes up a lot. I just forgot about it. But I love all the aliens, and then she's just trying to find the other coverts. They go down, and where do I do I know? I guess I don't have that part. No, I saw this already. Anyway, so they go down, meet the armorer. What
That
were your
reveal
thoughts?
shot.
Yeah.
That reveal shot. She's just like crouching and the darkness of space. It was so cool.
Yeah. So
Oh,
all
you
that.
have the side shot.
Yeah. So there's it. That
That
shot
shot.
is so great, and I'll put this back again in a minute. That ring planet or that ring station reminded
Halo.
me. I know you're a fan of Halo. Yeah, that's Halo right there. Love that design of that space station and the whole walk, seeing then the Mandalorian sign, everything in that, and then the battles at the end with her try to training, and then with Paz, Vizsla, just great. But yeah, talk to me when you saw the armorer, and then just that whole scene. What it's
I was shocked. I was shocked. Like I was not expecting that because I still was like not expecting this to carry forward the Djarin story. So I was shocked, and it was like everything was clicking. Like he just reverted back to his old ways. Like he got the truth exposed to him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm just gonna go back to my cult."
Yeah.
And that the second he like showed the Darksaber and Paz Vizsla, I was like, this is not gonna end good.
Yeah, I was surprised it took him that long to challenge him. I thought he was just gonna take it and run away with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the reveal of the Darksaber, then we have the armorer wielding it, the battle with the armorer showing him how to wield it, how he can handle it, again disrespecting by dragging it, and then the battle at the end with Paz, showing that. I love showing the energy shield that we've seen in Rebels and in Clone Wars for the Mandos. I love that shot, but
yeah. So the chat like continued talking, but Roberto had a question regarding the Darksaber being heavy, and basically in Rebels, when Sabine's training with it, she mentions like it's heavier than she thought. Then Lauren commented that all lightsabers are heavy. If you make your own lightsaber on Galaxy's Edge, when you pick it up, you'll notice it's heavier than you thought. And yeah, so she mentions the Rebel things. So I just wanted to mention, like, I think it's more like a mental thing. Like, I don't think it's necessarily like very different from any heavy weapon. So they know the weight attached to it. Even Din Djarin, who knows nothing, probably he got told like in that episode like what it means. So I think it's the weight of it, like that mental weight. But I also like connected back to Rise of Skywalker when Rey gives the lightsaber back to Leia, and she goes like, "I have to earn it." And you've been using it for the last two movies, and now you have to earn it. And I think it has to do with the fact like she learned about the Skywalker legacy. She knows what that lightsaber means, and she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not worthy of this." So I think it like
Okay.
connects to that.
Yeah, so I'll be honest. Been a Star Wars fan for the better part of 30 years. I've said here before, talking about the High Republic, why does Buriaga the Wookiee need to use two hands to use his lightsaber? He's a big, strong Wookiee, and a lightsaber is made of light, which doesn't weigh, just use one hand. Yeah, the hilt might be a little bit heavy, but come on. And then everyone came out, well, actually, in Rebels, they said very explicitly, you need to connect with them. Crap, I know nothing. And I'm like Roberto. To me, I guess that's something that's unique to the Darksaber. But then you go back, no, it's there, just something that we don't think about because lightsabers are used by Jedi 99% of the time. They connect to the Kyber crystal before they build it. So there's already a connection there. Sabine, not a Jedi. So it took her time to learn how to use it. Din Djarin, obviously not a Jedi, even though some people were, oh, what if he's force sensitive? No, keep that away. So yes, I guess it's something new for live action, and it hasn't really been kind of talked to too much. But I guess it's not new because it's been out there mostly in animation.
I mean,
but it's a cool concept to now kind of follow.
In the movies, they're constantly like tossing the lightsabers, and they just like grab them like it's nothing. But man, lightsabers, like the ones from Galaxy's Edge, they are like very heavy. Like when I picked it up, I was like, whoa.
It's funny because when I seen videos about it, sometimes they look a little bit plasticky, and I'm like, man, it doesn't look like it's gonna hold up compared to some of the others. But I guess
I was so pleasantly surprised. It's real metal.
Yeah. But then how did Han Solo was able to use it to open Shut up. Well, okay, Lauren is saying, I hope Sabine is the one that further teaches Dean how to wield it. Come on, Lauren.
Yes. No Luke Skywalker.
I'm this close to sending Lauren the link for today's show and just having her on and just school us on all things.
No
and that,
Luke Skywalker.
That makes 100% more sense for the Din Djarin Mandalorian story than having Luke. Let me take 5 minutes away from my class to show this old guy how to wield this ancient weapon with all this history. No, bring Sabine in Ahsoka or Mando season 3 and she'll say it.
And I don't even think like Luke knows what it is. I think he just turns it on. He's like, "Oh, cool, black
it's black. It matches my dark outfit."
Oh, yeah.
They can change that because all the comics and all the video games have shown Luke looking for all these artifacts and history. So
yeah,
he might know now. But yeah, movie Luke, he doesn't know what the hell it is. He'll probably just chuck it over his shoulder. Last Jedi joke, don't get mad. But then the armorer kind of goes straight to, she doesn't care that Mando's back is, you have a spear that's going to kill all of us. It's not supposed to be a weapon. What do you want? Just melt it. It's for a foundling. And here's when oh man, Grogu the foundling. And she built something. She does this little, who knew that the armorer took arts and craft and did the little bow to resemble Grogu? The big question, what did she make?
I think she made, I heard this on Force Center. I think she made a necklace with the little ball.
That's what I said. I replied to Lauren because she had put something on Twitter, same thing. Kind of makes sense. Some people are saying maybe another ball. I think the original ball from the Razor Crest is still there.
That would have been cute, like another ball.
So if you want to get cheesy and cute, what I told Lauren was, I think it's gonna be a necklace with a new Beskar ball to give Grogu, and then Dean keeps the ball from the Razor Crest. And now they still have one, each has one, just to connect. We're always together. When you think of that,
they cut it in half and
and then they put it together when they meet. Okay, no. But there's a lot of thoughts. Is it a signet? Signet maybe. It's too little to be a helmet. Is it part of lightsaber hilt?
At
Looks
first
kind of round.
at first I thought they were gonna make a helmet. I'm like, we're
Yeah.
gonna see like Mandalorian Yoda. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. So jumping seasons and shows ahead, because a lot of people was Grogu in Luke's temple when Ben Solo burned it down, which wasn't Ben. Read comics,
I
but and it's not there. That's not the question. So I think at some point Grogu is gonna say that Jedi life is not for me. I'm going with Mando, and he's this foundling. He's a Mandalorian instead of being a Jedi, and maybe that's when he'll get his helmet and all his armor. But we'll see.
Yeah, so shout out to Mandalorian Express, a Mexican Star Wars podcast. I was on their show like over a year ago,
Mhm.
and they mentioned like they thought that Grogu was the Mandalorian, not Din Djarin. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, could be. I mean, the way these shows are, we think we know this story and we complain, and then we get smacked in the face because we never learn that there's always an overarching story at the end. Um, so I was thinking, and we've talked about this all through Book of Boba Fett, is these time periods, these timelines. How long did he spend in the Sarlacc pit? How long has he spent with the Tuscans? How far away do you think the end of season 2 of Mandalorian is now with the beginning of Boba Fett? Because to me, it happened pretty quickly. Oh, Luke Skywalker is here. You took Grogu. Okay, we're going to Tatooine and take over. So it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
But for Din Djarin to say, hey, I miss him, I gotta go see him. Now I'm thinking this is maybe a year has gone by.
maybe it's not a year. Maybe it's like this dad thing. Like he's been gone for a long time. Then it's been 3 days. Like I can imagine him getting there and being like, no, you can't stay here. No, they're not taking care of you. So
they haven't even reached a temple yet. They're just taking it slow, haven't gone into hyperspace, and Dean is already there waiting. No, he's not ready to go on a field trip.
Just getting out of the ship. So I don't know. I don't think maybe a year, but maybe a couple of months. Like in between this, Cara Dune died. I don't know.
Yes. So speaking about dying, I guess it's a good transition. One of the things that the armorer says when she finds the light, the Darksaber, we finally see the Night of 1,000 Tears, K2SOs, Terminators, TIE bombers, probe droids, burn, burn, burn. So we finally see what it was. It's been talked about for 2 seasons. Thoughts about seeing this now in live action, and then the mention of Bo-Katan, and she didn't win it in combat. She wasn't worthy, basically. A lot of questions answered, or really not answered, just a little spin to mess up with Din Djarin.
I think confirmed more than anything. Like, because we know that in Rebels they were preparing to, confront the Empire. That didn't play well, as we learned in the beginning of Mandalorian. They're all hiding, and they weren't a part of the war. So what happened to them? So I don't want to say happy because I was, it was sad, but I was so like ecstatic to see this play out. Like,
yes,
I'm a huge Terminator fan, so like that reference was like, oh yes, this is for me. And they mentioned the moon of Concordia. I can't imagine like Dave Filoni going like, Dave Favreau just write like Concordia, and he's like, what? What?
Just giving him a little note. Here you go. Yeah. Just put this there on page 5 of the script. Just slide that in there.
Yeah, so I loved it. I loved that scene, and it's horrifying. And there's a shot of the helmets like lying down.
Yes,
perfect.
Which, if not the first time, when I was getting all those clips, when it kind of goes really fast, one of the helmets looks like Kylo Ren's. I'm like, what the hell? And no, it's a Mando helmet. What's Lawrence? I think he turned back to bounty hunting to find the armor again for sure. Yeah, because we saw that he told Paz Vizsla, hey, I'm sorry for everyone that died saving me. So he's kind of atoning for that also.
And Lauren has a point, because he didn't want the credits. He just wanted to know where she was. That's interesting.
Yeah. And again, at the end, He didn't want all the credits. I'll do it for Boba.
Yeah.
But okay, so again, going back to that talk out there, all this discourse. Now, which team are you? Are you Team Armora or Team Bo-Katan? Who's right?
Oh, you can't see
Because
her, but I have my Bo-Katan figure somewhere over there. So yeah, no, I'm Bo-Katan. I love that character. I love her arc. I love her story, and it's gonna be interesting because she might be a little bit like arrogant. So
Mhm.
maybe see where it goes. But yeah, I'm Team Bo-Katan. Like the armor is crazy. She's awesome, but she's crazy.
It's funny because season one of The Mandalorian, we all love the armorer. We love everything that she said. This is the way. Don't take your helmet off. No one has taken off. This is the way. Foundlings, we gotta do this. It's your care. He's under your care. You gotta do all this. Season two comes around. Bo-Katan says, "Well, actually, children of the Watch, you're just being corrupted. You're part of a cult, and you suck. Of course, we can take our helmet off. What are you talking about?" And then everyone was like, "Yeah, Bo-Katan, there you go." And a lot of people now are saying, Bo-Katan, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Then they're back on the armorer's side, and there's this bickering, like Batman versus Superman and all that thing again. I kind of want to go with Bo-Katan because more Mandalorians do take the helmets off, and everything that she says kind of makes more sense that the armorer. They're being secluded on the moon. They're waiting for other ones because she keeps saying, "Oh, we'll just kind of keep hiding, and sooner or later we'll go back to Mandalore." While Bo-Katan is actively fighting to free her planet and go back. So it's two different kind of point of views. Our friend Maggie Lovett has a great article up on Collider talking about how this religious kind of mind meld that they've done with Din Djarin, kind of how all that plays
Great
out.
article. Great
Yeah.
article. So
So
Roberto wants to see more of the war, and Roberto is officially Team
Team
Armor.
Marvel. Ooh, love
I do
that.
not
The
agree with
shade.
this. I do
There
not
we
agree with
go. There we go. We gotta have a Royal Rumble at the end of the season or when Mando season 3 comes out. Again, it's great to see all these different points of view because it's the same thing that Din Djarin is going through.
I mean, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, like she, I don't know. I just don't like crazy religious people. Like I'm okay with religious people. Like I'm
Not
kind
the
of religious,
crazy kind.
but I don't like the crazy kind. So she's like way not my cup of tea.
Yeah. So I'll say I'm not the most kind of imbued in Mandalorian culture. I don't know all the episodes of the Clone Wars and all that. I do know that Bo-Katan wasn't the best. She did a
Nope.
lot of bad things, all for Mandalore, of course. But can both of them be playing Din Djarin
Okay.
in some sort?
Probably. I mean, the thing is, we already saw her arc, so we know she's Bo-Katan is good, but we know like her backstory, so
Yeah.
we know she could like maybe take wrong turns. So, uh, if Bo-Katan had her arc, she would probably be a part of the Children of the Watch, because it's hinted that Death Watch, which was the group Bo-Katan was a part of, turned into Children of the Watch, now handled by the Armor, apparently. So she probably would be a part of them. But I heard a theory that I really liked. What if the Armor is part of Clan Kryze or Kriz?
Oh, whatever you say.
Because we know they have other siblings, because there's this kid that's Satine's nephew, and there's theories that it could be her son with Kenobi. We don't know, but if they have that nephew, there are
Yeah.
other Kree's siblings. So what if the Armor is Bo-Katan's sister? And that would just blow up my mind.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so much. That's why now season 3 of Mandalorian kind of changes where I thought it was going to be. Now he's not a Mandalorian. He's got to find that out again. It's not just this whole war between him and Bo-Katan to figure out who's going to rule Mandalore. So surprised that kind of Bo-Katan just left Din Djarin leave with the Darksaber and go on all these adventures? Because I thought they were going to be together trying to figure this out, and that was season 3.
I was expecting her to just like shackle herself to him. I mean, you're not going anywhere.
Do you think we'll have a showdown, like an actual showdown between the Armorer and Bo-Katan? I thought we were gonna get it in season 2 when all the Bo-Katan rumors came out, but it didn't play. But now she knows who Bo-Katan is. Does she know who the Armorer is, and or is it just gonna be she says one thing and then this one says the other?
So it's gonna be interesting because I think the story is gonna lead to the reunification of Mandalore.
Sure.
So if that happens, I kind of think they have to like maybe not fight, but like
Some
butt heads.
conversation, right?
Yeah, because it's two different ideologies. How are you gonna reunificate everything? Like,
Yeah, it's going now to Marvel, Daredevil season 2 with Punisher. If you guys have seen it, I'm not gonna spoil. I don't remember everything, but Daredevil and Punisher have a great conversation on a rooftop where Punisher has shackled Daredevil to a column or something, and they have both different ideologies of how to stop bad guys. Daredevil doesn't kill, maims, does whatever. And Punisher on the other side is, dude, you have to take it all the way. And that episode is like a 20-minute scene. It's one of the best. It came out at the same time that Batman vs. Superman came out, and it didn't work. That scene worked. So you do something like this, just
I love
very.
Batman versus Superman, by the way.
I love the
your
director's cut is awesome.
It's totally different.
They took too many things out, same as Justice League, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
But if they do something like that, they don't need to fight because the issue is not physical. It's what is the way of the Mandalore, I guess. And you have a good writer like Filoni, Favreau that know the whole history. That can be a very powerful scene next season or wherever. Anyway, so we keep moving with.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, especially freaking Din Djarin, head of Mandalore with the Darksaber, doesn't even want to talk to the manager because he goes, and we see a lot of droids in this episode, and this little guy, the TSA of Star Wars, and even Din Djarin was like, dude, I want to talk to the manager, take everything from me. Here's my planet. Dude, just give me my little ticket stubs.
I have my pre-check. Like...
So stressful. I thought you guys were whatever, I'll find another ship. But again, a bunch of droids. We got that TSA droid. We have, I'll go back. Okay, Lauren, I have a lot of thoughts on Armorer and Bo-Katan, which involve more than the character is allowed to comment. Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
It could go so many ways. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's one of the things. We can spend the whole hour just talking about one scene, which we still haven't gotten to the big ship reveal. No. I thought we are gonna see when he's in the spaceport trying to get into this transporter. I thought, okay, here we go. What ship does he have? I know he's taking taxis and Ubers and all that stuff. He goes to Tatooine, which I guess a lot of people want to visit Tatooine because that Starliner was packed. We see the return of Pelimoto, and I love this scene with all the droids, R5, the pit droids, and the other one just being scared. And then we get the BD droid, for you Fallen Order fans. When you saw all the droids and BD especially freaked out.
I was so happy. Yeah. Yeah, first live action appearance, and so happy.
It looked great. Happy. Poor droid got his little.
They're like a little puppy droid. Like,
was that the a Womp Rat? Our first live action Womp Rat? Because all the others have been these scariers. Although she said there's a little scarierness. But anyway, it all leads to this. I don't care. It's the N1 Starfighter.
Yes.
So. Oh, Andres is here. Andres always saying Team Dean and Boba, everybody. Great episode for droid lovers. Yes, great episode.
Yep.
And then he's like, okay, you got a Razor Crest. I'm gonna say, we spent last week talking about Slave One, Fire Spray, and I think I said there's a few ships that have names: Millennium Falcon, the Ghost, and the Razor Crest. The Razor Crest is not a name that Din Djarin. That's not ship designation. Shut up. And Boba Fett is the only. I know I just scream, and someone in my house is gonna come up. Why are you screaming? So I'm sorry. There's no need to have names. Mandalorians don't need to put names on it. So I love that it was Razor Crest.
Yeah.
Instead of that name that he just
totally
put.
Agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Yeah, I got something. Ta-da! It's an N1 Starfighter." Tell me how loud you screamed.
I at first I didn't realize what it was. Like I saw like the thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Is that like a mini Racer Crest?" And
Yeah,
then I
I
was
thought it
like,
was a pod racer at first.
yeah, oh, me too, me too. When I saw
Yeah.
like when it was under the hood, I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, what is this?" But wow, yeah, I was so happy. Like it's interesting that it was Pelimoto because I remember the talks about the N1 starfighter not being Star Wars enough. It's not
Yeah.
an X-wing, and now people are losing their minds. And I had the same thing with Peli. I hated her in episode 5 of Mandalorian, and every time she showed up, even in that cameo in one of the first episodes
Mhm.
of Boba Fett, I always scream. I'm like, Ava Sedaris. Like, so,
She's the Stan Lee of the Filoniverse. She
oh,
actually in
yes, yes,
everything. And she
yes.
gets better every episode. I heard
She's
the complaints the first time. She was okay for me, not too bad. Second season, great. Now, great. Where's that little baby or whatever? Oh, I could have used them. He gets
and
some a petting zoo or whatever.
and everything with the jaw was like
Oh,
she
the furry.
dating them, very furry, very furry. And when Din gives them the money, she's like, "What? No, don't do that. Now
Yeah.
they're gonna expect more money."
Yeah. But I love that whole scene. First, I'll say I got two things spoiled. One was that Din Djarin was back and that he was fighting Paz Vizsla. Not really a spoilers, whatever, it's gonna happen. The second was the N1 Starfighter. Someone posted a picture of it talking about Book of Boba Fett, so I kind of saw it that it was coming.
Oh,
Lauren
so
added, did not
okay.
expect to see the N1 Starfighter, was a great surprise. Yes, and there's a lot of people on Twitter for months saying that give him an N1 is one of the best ships. So yeah, that resurgence has been there for a while.
Yeah, so I actually saw people retweeting their old tweets about this, and I'm just like, how did this pop into your
Yeah,
mind? Like,
because
wow.
I was like Pelly almost. It's like he's a bounty hunter. He doesn't fit his lifestyle. But it was
But
great seeing it. I love that he said that's a piece of junk or whatever. And she's like, you don't want it, take your credits. And then he kind of stays like, man, I need a ship. Oh, and then she goes, oh yeah, we'll be fine. You want to help? We'll go a lot quicker.
yeah, so can we talk about the whole ship being small thing? Because
Yeah,
I saw a lot of um people saying like, "Oh, that's not gonna work with a Mandalorian," and I'm like, I think that's the point. I mean, not
with a
with a
bounty hunter.
Mandalorian, with a bounty hunter. And yeah, I think that's the
Droids.
point. That's kind
Yes.
of the point.
Didn't you see the first 20 minutes when he just got told, you're not a Mandalorian, you're not a bounty hunter,
He caught
actually?
himself bounty
Yeah.
hunting. Like, it's not for
Yeah,
you,
like
man.
yeah, like he says, just back in there just to find where that covert was. He's not doing it for the credits.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I just wanted to go back to like how I was in that last year of high school. Like, it's not gonna go well. It's not gonna
Yeah.
go well.
How long before we see Grogu in the droid port?
Season 3, like he's gonna be doing something, and we're gonna just see him like,
Pop up.
"Whippy!"
It's gonna. I mean, there's no 0% that it's not gonna happen. There's a very specific reason why they just blurted out what happened to the droid port. You don't need it. But again, he's shown this kind of
I mean,
change now with the droids also.
and it's interesting because he could have just gotten an astromech and put it in there.
I
So
thought they were gonna have one, which would be very
R4 was
interesting.
there.
Just fucking stick him in. He wants to lift that win finally.
Yeah,
But the N1 Starfighter looked great. I thought the scene was a little bit long, but whatever. But it all was a payoff. We talked about some great scenes in the episode, and most of them was N1 flying out. Flying over Tatooine looked so great. I lost my mind. This shot of him inside, going through Beggars Canyon, doing the same thing that Anakin did with the pod racer. This shot of
that shot.
inside with that. Oh man. And then we go to the. I said they haven't cleaned up the broken debris from 40 years ago. Tatooine. Even the Jawas didn't want it. Didn't want the broken pieces.
No,
But I was losing my mind. Of course, even for people that don't like the prequels, the one thing that they'll say, "Oh, is the pod race was awesome." So going
and
back to this, to all these feelings of 1999, it was just, yeah, Boba Fett was in it as a Star Wars episode, top notch.
Yeah. So for me, like so many things, like I've mentioned it before, like I saw the special editions in theaters, but I don't really remember that much. The first movie I remembered seeing in theaters was Phantom Menace. So seeing all of that like rushed back into my head. And in the past year of Phantom Menace, I've rewatched it so many times during the pandemic. And it's turned into my favorite prequel. I don't know why. Like the silly things are still there. The things I didn't like are still there, but it's just grown on me so much. So like seeing all these payoffs, like
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones has been getting a lot of love
Mhm.
throughout the series. So now seeing Phantom Menace was just
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. Hopefully, we don't have a battle in fire at the end of the season.
That would be cool.
But yeah, maybe right. Phantom Menace for me is the second most rewatchable and most entertaining Star Wars movie. I think
Apart
Solo
from
is my most
oh
watch
really?
rewatchable and
Okay.
entertaining. I just love Solo. As soon as they said, "Oh, have you flown in no time?" He flies through the screen. The smile doesn't leave my face for an hour and 45 minutes.
I love Solo, but I thought you were gonna say Force Awakens because that's like the go to for everyone,
So
like as rewatchable.
yeah, so if you watch, I don't know, the beginning of season 3 of Radio Rebellion, I did my whole ranking. I had
That was the
Revenge of
first
the Sith.
episode I ever saw of you. I think.
Oh, well, thank you. Revenge of the Sith had become my number one movie. Second was Force Awakens. Third was Empire Strikes Back. But the most entertaining is Solo. And second one, at least for my rewatch, was The Phantom Menace. I laughed like crazy watching it again. I didn't care about the silly things that we complain about. I just love rewatching it. So yeah, seeing it come back into the conversation has been great.
Yeah.
But then he's flying the ship. Was Lauren saying out there for the N1?
She thought him flying it was amazing, and I agree. The VFX were great, as you mentioned, Alberto. Like the
Yeah.
budget in this episode, strong.
Yeah, so one of my favorite shot also, this one, leaving the atmosphere, and Bryce Dallas Howard says something in terms of the shots that she does, especially with the special effects. The X-Wing, which is my favorite starship in all Star Wars, every time it comes up, I lose my mind. Seeing them back with the N1, the chromed out N1 was, come on, this
Cool.
is two generations of Star Wars, OT, PT, and now pre-sequel because that's the timeline. It's everything.
Yeah.
Yes, Boba Fett, you weren't there. Oh, it didn't matter. I just enjoyed it so much.
Now we need stormtroopers fighting battle droids.
Oh man, that would be freaking. But and that scene also when we had the return of of Carson Teva, the X-Wing.
Yes, and the guy who played Luke, by the way.
Yeah, I did. I keep.
I don't
He
know. I don't
looks
know his
similar. He
name.
looks similar. I kind of seen him
I
before, and
had the same
then
thing.
Twitter kind of tells us who he was. And I love when he's telling him Carson Tevas, "Oh, I recognize your voice. You used to fly a Razor Crest." And he just looks like, dude, this is a silver chrome Mandalorian. There's not much of them, so you know it's him. And he just freaking punches it, goes
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious, and just goes freaking flying out. Like, I don't have time for this. Love everything. The VFX were great. The direction of the episodes was great. Hate that Bryce Dallas Howard is pushing NFTs out there. But what she did with this episode and the other ones in Mandalorian have been great. They're saying that she's coming back for season 3, which makes sense. Give her a series, give her a movie.
She
She's doing great right now.
she's she's so good. Like I remember seeing her in the directors list of
Yeah,
season 1. I was like, okay, nepotism, here we go.
sure.
And she's just she's so good. She made me look like a fool. I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna highlight this real quick. Lauren, of course, is a green gift. Bryce Dallas Howard, all these Star Wars series and movies. I mean, right now she's like the cloud. I love how we have now. Even Mando's like, oh, this engine is a little bit too much for this ship. She's like,
Yeah.
it's purring. So they're just trying to sell it. It's working. Just do we need to run that Nox 6? No,
It's supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's shaking. You're used to cruisers or whatever. This is a starfighter. Love everything about it. So what's happening? So it ends up. Let's finish here. Um, Fennec Shan shows up. Hey, we need your help. Boba Fett, yeah, it pays well. I don't need the credits. I'll do it for free. But I gotta go say hi to a little friend. So two things. I guess one, because you already said you don't think that we're going back to Mando and Grogu next episode. What do you think is happening next time?
I think we're gonna see more recruiting because
Okay.
I don't think like Din is enough. So
Oh,
maybe
you
we'll
mean
see.
like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Cop Van?
So my top picks are Cobb Vanth, Denkar, and Embo, which is a weird
Oof. Yeah,
Mandalorian from bounty hunter from the Clone Wars.
yeah. I think you mentioned it last time. Mentioned him last time. I'll still go that we're gonna get some payoff to that conversation with about going to see a little friend or whatever.
Okay.
I think we'll get about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't want too much because I said before that Grogu and this story that Din Djarin is going on doesn't fit. I want him to deal with it without having the crutch of
Oh,
carrying a
I
baby
agree. I
around,
agree.
unless it's been 2 years or three or whatever when we go back to Mando season 3, and we don't know how quickly or how quickly that species kind of grows or matures because
Now.
yeah. He's 50 years old. He was told different species, age different, or something like that. But at the same time, Yoda tells Luke, "Oh, I've been training Jedi for 800 years," and he was 900. So by 100 years, Yoda was a Jedi master. So between 50 years and 100, what happens to these species? Maybe they go through a growth spurt or something.
Maybe.
So if he's a little bit bigger now, 13, a preteen or something, then yeah, maybe he can tag along. But if he's still a little baby that needs to be carried everywhere, I don't want him to be kind of this big part of the season.
So quick chat.
Yeah.
Lauren wants Boss to come on the show. I mean, that would be very cool. Dale popped up. He's saying,
Oh, hi
hello.
Dale. He made it. Dale
Yes.
commented on the last episode that he wasn't able to be here. Took a little quick nap that lasted a little bit longer. He's missed a few of the live show, but he's one of our staples. Hello there, Dale. Thanks for being here.
And Roberto wants someone else to direct Solo. Oh.
Yes, and I was one of those. I tweeted it out. Yeah, just give it a Solo sequel TV series. Keep it in the family. Keep it in the nepotism. Again, I love Solo so much, but the way, at least at the moment, that Star Wars TV is going, I don't think that that's on their next 2 or 3 year plan. We haven't heard anything about Lando. They mentioned this when they did the big announcement almost a year and a half ago. I love what they did with Lando in the Solo movie. I prefer it not to be. And then there's all the rumors about Kira getting her own show. I think there was a Kira and Darth Maul show kind of rumored. So there's that world is still around. But yeah, bring Solo and bring Bryce Dallas for it. Sorry. And then, so next episode, I still think that we'll see a little bit with Mando and Grogu. I think we're done with recruiting in terms of spending too much of the episode on it. I think we're going to start the war, even if we
so
get.
You think we're gonna start? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they just leave it for the last episode, I think it's too late. I think it has to be a little bit more of a build-up. Like, okay, we have our team. Let's go. Hey, while you were trying to find Mando, I went ahead and found these other guys in that Starliner. That Starliner just got there. Maybe there's more people that came in, and maybe it's a boss or whoever. Cat Bane, I think, doesn't play a part right now unless he's hired by someone else. I don't think he'll be part of the team. But I think then we need to start this battle now and then just finish it.
I kind of think it's gonna go like in the way like season 1 of Mandalorian went. Like the next to last episode, like the fight didn't start, but it ended up like it's about to start. So maybe it'll go that way. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that season 1, they took Grogu, the speeders, they killed forgot his name, but he's dead. This is I have spoken. And then
Quill.
Yeah, Quill. And then they had them kind of in this little ramshack. And then next episode is the battle started, but Moff Gideon was there, all the stormtroopers were there. That's where I thought that maybe Kira and Crimson Dawn were gonna show up in episode 6 a few episodes ago. But I don't think that now. I don't. If we see them, we'll be at the end, kind of. Okay, I gotta like Thanos. Oh, I gotta do this myself.
I'm starting to think that too.
Yeah, I think that's the way it's gonna go.
Do you? Oh, I was gonna ask you something and I forgot. Never mind.
All right, so I think that kind of wraps it up. Any final thoughts from you, from anyone in the chat we haven't
I
checked
just
in on?
I yeah. So okay. So Lauren thinks Sabine's gonna show up. If that happens, take me to the hospital. I'm gonna be like passed out. I'm gonna be wow, over the moon.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite characters. Um, Maybe set up Ahsoka series. That would be cool because season 2 of Mandalorian set up Book of Boba Fett, so it would be cool to start a tradition where
Mhm.
we set up other shows. That'd be cool.
So all right, so let's maybe because yeah, if you bring Sabine now, it kind of sets off a little bit for Ahsoka. Do you think that might happen, kind of a post-credit scene? I know we're kind of jumping 2 episodes ahead because I thought the post-credit scene is maybe we get the trailer for Kenobi, like they did in Spider-Man movie. The Lady Tuscan is bring that
Yes,
Tuscan
I
warrior.
still
That
agree. Still agree. And Dale wants Cat Bane.
Chad Bane, also Cat
Cat
Bane.
oh Cat Bane.
Just bring them. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of ways I could go. Hopefully, okay. So we almost forgot. Next episode is Filoni directing.
Really?
Yes, I mean those are the rumors. For about 2 weeks now, the rumors are that
Ahsoka's
this is
gonna
the.
show up.
So this is another reason why I think maybe we get Luke and Grogu because it's Jedi. So maybe win Filoni. My only concern is that Filoni's both episodes in Mandalorian have been the shortest of the seasons, maybe 30 minutes. If episode 6, the penultimate episode, is a short one, 30, 35 minutes, then we start going back to, okay, this episode was too long just to this prelude for Mando season 3. So I hope it's Filoni's coming is another 45 to 50-minute episode. And I mean, he did a lot better. I mean, directing he's been fine. I didn't enjoy the first time in Mando. Just the episode itself didn't mesh with me.
Holy
Second
crap.
time the Ahsoka episode was there. Nor Hall is here. How
Yeah.
are you doing, Nor Hall? Nor I'm gonna say Nor is gonna be one of our contestants for the solo
I saw
Rogue
that.
One trivia. It's gonna be great. That's coming out February. I'm gonna mess up the date, the 18th or 19th maybe. Lauren is saying, yeah, Dave Filoni is directing episode 6. With Robert Rodriguez doing the finale, which makes sense.
The chat
So,
is
yeah.
very happy that Nor Hall is here.
Oh, we're gonna have to extend the show a little bit.
Celebration.
We're about to close, but Nor is here. Nor was here a few months ago. We talked about our favorite sidekicks in Star Wars, and like I mentioned, she'll be here in next month, actually a month from today, when we do our big trivia. You wanna be a co-host for the trivia? Help me bounce out the questions and figure that out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're not too excited. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll do anything.
Yeah, because last time, as they're writing their answers to the questions, it's good to have someone to kind of bounce out, make a few jokes.
Schmodown thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it all myself last time. I had some even jokes I have written down. Okay, for this question, I'm gonna do this joke and try to play it off as, this just
Quick
popped
fun
up.
fact: I saw that episode from a Gap. My girlfriend was buying clothes, and I was just like sitting there, just watching people answer hard questions. So yeah,
It was a great episode. It was one of the funniest. They all had great answers when they didn't know the responses to the questions. And Gap, if you want to sponsor us, I'll start wearing some khaki jeans again, and I'll do it. All right, so thanks everyone that was here in the chat. Let me go back. I don't want to miss anyone. Norhal, thank you for being here at least for the last few minutes. Dale, Lauren, Mr. Rez, Andres, Roberto, everyone. Thank you. It was a great show. Oti, as always, thanks for being here. People should know already, but as always, where can they find you?
You can find me over at Instagram and Twitter at EPS Star Wars, whatever it says right here. I host a bilingual Star Wars podcast. Sometimes it's in English, sometimes it's in Spanish. I never know when it's gonna be each, but yeah.
All right, and for myself, again, we're here every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you want to listen to this on the audio podcast, you want to revisit some of our thoughts, you got here a little bit late, you want to hear it on your way to work, it'll be released early morning on Mondays at around 11 Eastern. Like I mentioned, a lot of great episodes coming down the pipe. We have next week, Otto will be here again for the next 2 episodes. Next week we have Arsuamin, and for the Book of Boba Fett finale we have Maggie Lovett is going to be here having a lot of fun. After that, finally, we're going back to the High Republic, and we're talking The Fallen Star. Don't know who we're going to have for that show. After that, I think we're doing Midnight Horizon by Daniel Jose Older. That book is coming out on Tuesday. I was lucky enough to get it from NetGalley. Great book. It's what you want a Star Wars book to be. It's Midnight Horizon, so definitely check that out. And then after that, we have our Rogue One solo trivia, and then we'll figure it out from there. So, as always, stay safe. Let's do this again. A little music. Stay safe. Be safe. And may the Force be with you.